Pedal Consulting, one of the tools that we are using, that we have been applying for several years, is something that we call pipeline. I'm Robert Miskov, CEO of Pedal Consulting. We are top performing SME when it comes to number of successfully secured and implemented projects under Horizon 2020 and Horizon Europe programs in Central Europe. In the game of grants, it's all about proposals. And proposals have a different life cycle. In Pedal Consulting, we mainly distinguish or we break it down into three different categories. The first one is what we internally refer to as ongoing proposals. These are opportunities which are literally on our table, in our computers, opportunities on which we are working at the moment. The second category is proposals under evaluation. So those are the proposals which were submitted recently or a couple months ago, depending on how long the evaluation process is taking, and we are waiting for the final verdict. The third category is the approved projects. So whenever we receive great news about our proposal being funded, it moves to the implementation team and it becomes approved project. Or of course, if we receive rejection, it goes to the graveyard, which later on hopefully will be in one way or another resurrected through the resubmission. The question is how we actually build up the number of ongoing proposals. So of course there are various techniques that are known. Some of them are a little bit covered by the secret, depending on the company or organization you're working with. And in Pedal Consulting, one of the tools that we are using, that we have been applying for several years, is something that we call pipeline. So pipeline, we typically do it or prepare it in between the two periods. As you know, when zooming into the world of Horizon Europe opportunities, typically there are two waves of deadlines. First one somewhere towards the end of the Q1, beginning of Q2, and then another wave of deadlines in September, October, or November, depending on the clusters or the pillars we're considering. So when we are in between these periods, we're trying to really look at and scan the work programs of different clusters and identify, it's rather a long list of topics that kind of grab our attention. And then we start systematically checking it also and testing it with our partners from our network. So we consider this internal pipeline as a tool to start discussing and testing the appetite for various topics with our trusted partners. And there is another video that I was breaking down different categories of partners, A, B, C, D, E, F. And what we do, we literally in between the periods when we're just recovering from the first wave and the new proposals are not quite yet on the radar, we're doing a lot of groundwork. And we simply start exchanging pipelines or just sharing our pipeline with partners from our network, and they start expressing interest. Okay, so they literally go through it one by one. There is a color code and start saying, okay, this one is super interesting. We're planning to also develop a proposal if the constellation of stars is playing in our favor. Or other extreme, this one is not interesting, so it will be completely like, let's say, red color or something in between. We're not really super crazy about it, but also if you decide to develop a proposal in this particular topic, we will be happy to chip in with our expertise. So this way we start really mapping the territory and also getting the insight from the market, where is the biggest interest for which topics we should be looking at. And when we start running these discussions and building up our pipeline, we can easily start detecting so-called hotspots. So those topics which attract the biggest attention of our partners. And then this is also a signal for us that maybe if those partners are really complementary, maybe it's a signal for us that Pedal could develop a proposal around that topic. And also at the same time, it helps us to understand also long-term what are the strategic priorities of other partners, and this will help us going forward better serve them and coming to them with a more tailor-made proposal. In pedal consulting, we oftentimes use pipeline as a tool which helps us to initiate discussions with new partners with which we haven't worked yet in the past. And also what we do is convey through email or when we speak some sort of disclaimer that by no means it should be understood that Pedal commits itself to develop proposal around the hotspots that will be identified. But as we are sharing this pipeline and updating it, taking into consideration interests of other partners, in a, let's say, month time, we're able to gather inputs from 30, 40 partners. And when the discussions come and when also partner search queries come, because if we are involved in various proposals, there is always gap identified, and oftentimes they ask us, could you please recommend anyone who's trusted and who's interested? And because of the pipeline, because of the expressions of interest we receive, we're able to nicely provide or propose, suggest partners that already marked their interest in this particular proposal. When it comes to the conversion rate, meaning how many proposals from the pipeline actually make it to the ongoing category, is not really high. What really matters here, or what's even more important, is the side product, meaning that the information, intel, opinions that comes from the discussions that we're having and from the feedback we gather, because this will help us to set our strategy towards various partners in a much more tailored way.